The one thing that annoys me about NHL rumors, trade rumors, deadline rumors, signing rumors, or whatever you want to say around any team, today we're going to be talking about the Vancouver Canucks, is I can't stand when you get conflicting reports about something. Because when it comes to Brock Besser, like, again, I've been consistent with my analysis on Besser. I think if he wants 8 or 8.25, that's completely fair. If he wanted 9 million, I would be a little tad bit more reserved with that, if you understand what I mean. So that's my take. Now, obviously, the rumor coming out was that Brock Besser actually wanted closer to 9 million on 5 years. That was what Elliot Friedman said. And it started to make a lot more sense to me as to why the Vancouver Canucks wouldn't sign that contract, because if it was, a little bit north of 8, I think you just sign the guy. I think he's actually a really, really good player. I mean, he has issues with his skating. Anyways, so now we have conflicting reports from Canucks Insider that some say Hurricanes offered Canucks first-round pick for Besser in the final half hour of the NHL Trade Deadline. Now, what does that tell you? As a Canucks fan, what does that tell you? Are the Canucks actually... Are they actually confident that they can eventually get Brock Besser signed? That's what it sounds like to me, so that actually might not be a terrible thing for them. Because logic would say if you end up trading a player, they're not going to re-sign in your franchise, right? Because a lot of players, like, this is why personally I think Mitch Marner is gone in the offseason, because at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. When you, it's kind of like insulting to some players, if you understand what I mean. So maybe the Canucks were worried about that. They probably do still want to get Brock Besser signed. I mean, he's a guy that can score 25 to 40 goals depending on the season and the shooting percentage. I understand he struggles with his skating, but he's still a pretty decent two-way forward. And I do think that they should just re-sign him. But the article goes, Carolina GM Eric Tulsky said because the Rantanen deal took so long to get cleared by the NHL, he didn't have enough time to get other significant deals done. Some say Tulsky called Vancouver in the last half an hour of the deadline and offered up one of the 2 first-round picks from the Rantanen deal for Besser. Interesting. Okay, that's getting spicy. If they don't think that they were going to keep him, I'm all for getting more assets though. Like that's where my logical brain is. If you're going to sign him, you might as well get assets, right? The article continues. But remember this, the Canucks said before the deadline, they don't want to get weaker, they don't want to get worse with the Besser trade. Picks and prospects don't make you better today. Picks and prospects make you better in the future. Huh. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, Vancouver Canucks have had a weird season. I actually like that mentality from them. Some of their players have taken a step back, but I do think that this franchise still needs to have a mentality of, making smart decisions, but still moving forward when you make those smart decisions. Now, the problem with that is the Calgary Flames will not leave the Canucks alone. They are just obsessed. They're in number 4 in the Pacific Division. They're 1 point ahead of the Vancouver Canucks. And this is one thing that I've been keeping a really, really, really close eye on, is the standings. Like, it's shocking me how good Calgary has been this year. And, I mean, man, for the Canucks to just miss out, but this is the risk that you take. Do I believe that the Carolina Hurricanes offered an asset? Yep, absolutely I do. 100% they offered an asset. I guarantee you that did happen. But here's the thing, the Canucks are going to pay for it. If Besser just leaves and they miss the playoffs, they could have had 2 first-round selections. At least they would have had a selection around the mid-first round and the late first round. You can get some really, really good players there. So it's not that I want the Canucks to re-sign, and I like the logic of saying, hey, you know what, we want to be a good franchise, we don't want to take a step back, but sometimes you might actually have to take a step back. The article continues, there was a late push by Carolina, some say to get Besser, and some say they offered up one of the 2 first-round picks. Okay, so I'm obviously going to pick the side of, yeah, I believe this, and logically speaking, I probably would have just taken it. It's not that I want them to take a step back, it's that I don't know what is up with the Canucks. I thought that once they traded Miller, maybe that would improve them, there would be less drama. Elliot Friedman was talking about the Canucks and saying, hey, listen, like, They just seem like the soul of the team or something like that was different this year. I don't really know what that means, but whatever. The article continues. Vancouver made Brock Besser a new contract offer late this week. I think that it was before Friday's deadline. Clearly the offer wasn't good enough. And now we have rumors that it was over 5 years, remember. The last second stab of the Canucks to sign him on Friday. I do not believe they came close, so the Vancouver Canucks did try last week. They took a stab at him in the 11th hour. They made a new contract offer to Brock. It wasn't good enough. I think they took a shot at him Wednesday or Thursday. Now, again, I'm going to say this again. I do think that the Vancouver Canucks are probably just thinking we can probably logically, we can get this guy signed. There's no problem with getting him signed. We just have to pay him. So maybe that's what they're thinking. Brock Besser probably wants to remain a Canuck. It doesn't sound like he wants to leave, right? It sounds like the payment isn't just not good enough. You know, again, I'm going to relate this back to Mitch Marner with the Toronto Maple Leafs. The rumor is this guy has been offered 13 and 13 and a half. They're not offering him disrespectful contracts, and he isn't signing it. Okay, that's why I believe Mitch Marner is gonzo. So he is going to be enemy number one in Toronto. But this does not sound, it sounds like Besser just like wants $9 million or something like that. And honestly, I don't know, man. It's hard to say when your team is out of the playoffs, but sometimes you might just have to ante up, especially with the cap going up to the $113 million over the next 3 years. Canucks might be able to be one of the Canadian teams that might be able to spend that. They have a pretty good fan base. They're not a poor team or something like that. So you might actually just want to do that. But again, tell me what you think about this rumor. Would you have just taken the first round selections? I think I might just consider that if you thought he was going to walk. If you don't think he's going to walk, then maybe you do just figure it out that way. Anyways, I am going to leave this video there. If you could make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it, guys. And make sure to have a great day. Peace, guys.